Thank you very much. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, CGH, fellow Cabinet Secretary, the Honorable Wycliffe Ambetsa Oparanya, Principal Secretary is present, development partners and members of the diplomatic corps, representatives of our private sector partners, the young Kenyans who have joined us here today, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Your Excellency, I'm delighted to join you this morning together with the UNDP and KEPSA for the launch of the NextGen.ke Youth Employment Program. As Cabinet Secretary for the National Treasury, I would like to speak about this initiative from the perspective of the public purse, why government has chosen to invest in it, and why it represents sound economic policy, and why it matters for Kenya's long-term growth and prosperity. The National Treasury has a simple but important responsibility, and that is to ensure that every shilling entrusted to government is invested where it delivers the greatest economic and social return for the people of Kenya. No investment offers greater returns than investing in the people, as this will spur productive capacity and more returns in the future. Kenya, as we know it, is a youthful nation. We have approximately 75% of our population below the age of 35, making our young people our greatest comparative advantage. So for many graduates, the transition from education into meaningful employment remains one of the most challenging stages in their professional journey. And that is why when John Luke reported here, Your Excellency, I remember having the first and the initial meetings with him, and I expressed to him that our major concern as a government is how then do we create more job opportunities to our graduates who are coming out of colleges. Because that is the single most important challenge that we have as a country. And it is not unique to Kenya. This is something that is fundamental in this continent because we have a growing population, yet job opportunities are not expanding as much. So from the National Treasury's perspective, this is not simply a labor market issue. It is an economic issue. A country's long-term competitiveness depends on the productivity of its workforce, and the more skilled, experienced, and productive our young people become, the stronger our businesses and the more competitive would be our economy, and the greater our capacity to sustain inclusive growth. This is why youth employment is not simply a social priority under the bottom-up economic transformation agenda, but it is an economic imperative. No economy can achieve sustained growth if it underutilizes its most abundant factor of production, and that is its people. Every shilling we invest in programs such as NextGen is an investment in Kenya's future productive capacity. Future taxpayers are also created, and future entrepreneurs and future business leaders are developed. So, Your Excellency, today with this launch, you are actually triggering into action 2 billion shillings allocated by the National Treasury on behalf of the government of Kenya for the implementation of this program. This allocation reflects a deliberate choice by your government, Your Excellency, to back our young people with real resources at scale. And this is in addition to a number of resources that we have also allocated to support youth programs. And I would not fail to mention Nyota. This funding sits alongside UNDP's catalytic initial contribution of 175 million shillings and other commitments from private sector, creating a genuine partnership where public money is designed to crowd in investment from development partners and the private sector to multiply its impact. This is exactly how public finance should work. Public resources should not seek to replace private investment. They should unlock it. And every shilling invested by government should encourage additional investment by businesses and development partners, multiplying both areas. And more than 30,000 young Kenyans will move through structured, stipend-supported placements. I know you will speak more to this. So one of the most important responsibilities of National Treasury, Your Excellency, is to ensure that public investment reinforce one another. Our responsibility is to build a coherent national architecture where different initiatives serve different needs while working towards the same national objective. I don't want to speak much again about Nyota because I think this is something that we have talked about in this country. So together with all the initiatives that we are developing, we will form a continuum of opportunity, ensuring that young Kenyans from different educational backgrounds and aspirations can access pathways that best match their potential. But Your Excellency, before I conclude, allow me to mention also that these programs and initiatives that we are taking will not succeed or will come to naught unless there is confidence in this economy by the private sector and unless we crowd in investment, both domestic and foreign investment. And Your Excellency, that is why I cannot leave this stage without mentioning that it is saddening and disheartening to hear national leaders or people who claim to be the national leaders talk negatively about our economy, especially at a time when we have worked so hard to create confidence in this economy. And this is exhibited by numbers. We have seen increased number of tourists in this country in the past few months. We have seen increased investment in this country in the past few months. The Nairobi Securities Exchange is performing much better. It's now the 4th best performing Nairobi Securities Exchange in the world. We have seen more credit going to the private sector. Your Excellency, a while back, in fact, the beginning of last year, we were seeing a shrinking, negative growth in credit to the private sector. Today, credit to the private sector is almost hitting a double-digit growth at 9.3%. And then you hear leaders or people who claim to be leaders talk negatively and advising people not to invest in this country and advising tourists not to come to this country. Your Excellency, that is where the difference is between a team which does not believe in this country, a team that does not believe in the people of this country, a team that does not believe in the future of this country or don't care about the future of this country. And there is another team, this side, which believes in this country, which has faith in this country, which believes in the human capital. We are seeing here today 500 strong Kenyans who are going out there to create more wealth in this economy. A team that believes in the future of this country. And that is the difference between us, Your Excellency, and your government, and those other people. You like referring to them as characters, and I also want to agree. They are characters who don't actually know what is good for this country. So, Your Excellency, I don't want to proceed beyond this because I know you are going to speak to Kenyans and explain more about this program. Thank you very much.